The Prince and the Whispering Island Prince Aris wasn't meant for royal robes and stuffy throne rooms. His heart belonged to the sea. While other princes practiced archery, Aris studied tides in his tattered notebook, built tiny ships from driftwood, and knew the cry of every seabird that circled the harbor. His greatest wish: to captain his own ship, the Sea Sprite, a sturdy little vessel barely bigger than his bedroom, gifted by his sea captain grandfather. One bright morning, with his loyal terrier, Finn, at his heels and a pocket full of dried figs, Aris convinced his worried parents just a short voyage farther to map the currents beyond the Sapphire Shoals. The king sighed, but saw the ocean-deep longing in his son's eyes. "Be back by sunset, brave Aris," he warned. Aris and Finn set sail. The Sea Sprite danced over waves like a playful dolphin. Aris felt the wind fill his lungs, the sun warm his face, and the salt spray kiss his cheeks. He was free. He charted known rocks, noted schools of silverfish, and felt like the true captain of his tiny world. But the sea is full of surprises. A sudden squall, swift and fierce, rolled in from the east. Rain lashed, waves grew tall as castle walls, and the wind howled like a lost giant. Aris gripped the tiller, his small frame straining. "Hold on, Finn," he yelled over the roar. For hours they battled the storm. The Sea Sprite tossed like a leaf. Aris used every trick his grandfather taught him, reefing the sail, steering into the waves, his heart pounding, but his hands steady. He was brave, not because he wasn't scared, but because he kept going. When the storm finally blew itself out, the world was calm and strangely quiet. The sun broke through, painting the sky in pinks and golds. But Aris's heart sank. The familiar coastline was gone. Stars wheeled overhead in unfamiliar patterns. He was lost. Panic fluttered in his chest, but he took a deep breath. Think Aris. He checked his compass, still true. He scanned the horizon. Nothing but endless blue. Until dawn painted the east there. A smudge of green, hazy and distant. Hope surged. He adjusted the sail, steering the Sea Sprite towards the unknown. As they drew closer, wonder replaced worry. It wasn't just an island, it was a jewel. Lush green hills rolled down to beaches of pure white sand. Waterfalls tumbled like liquid silver from cliffs draped in emerald vines. Strange, sweet-scented flowers bloomed in riotous colors, and birds with feathers like sapphires and rubies flitted through the trees, singing melodies Aris had never heard. "Look, Finn," Aris whispered, awestruck. "A new world." He guided the Sea Sprite into a sheltered cove where the water was so clear he could see rainbow fish darting over coral. Stepping onto the warm sand, Aris felt like the first person ever to walk there. He explored gently, sketching strange shell shapes and noting trees with bark-like puzzle pieces. He found freshwater springs bubbling up sweetly. He even saw shy furry creatures with long tails watching him from the ferns. Not afraid, just curious. This island wasn't empty. It felt alive, humming with a quiet magic. Aris didn't claim it for his kingdom. Instead, he left a small, respectful gift, a smooth blue stone from his own shore, placed carefully on a flat rock near the spring. "Thank you for letting us visit," he murmured to the whispering leaves. He knew he couldn't stay forever. His parents would be frantic. Using the new stars he'd learned to read during his night watch, Aris plotted a course home. The journey back felt different. He wasn't just sailing. He was carrying a secret treasure. The memory of the Whispering Island, when the sea sprite finally sailed into the familiar harbor. 2 days late, the king and queen rushed down, relief washing over their faces. "Aris, you're safe." Aris hugged them tightly, smelling the familiar scent of home. Then, with shining eyes, he spread out his damp notebook. He showed them his careful maps of the currents, his sketches of the sapphire birds, the puzzle bark trees, and the cove with the clear water. "I found it, Father, a new island. It's beautiful and peaceful." The king looked at his son, sun-browned, salt-crusted eyes bright with the reflection of a hidden paradise, and saw not just a prince, but a true explorer. "You sailed through a storm, found your way home, and discovered a wonder," the king said, pride warming his voice. "That, my son, is the bravest voyage of all." Prince Aris never forgot the Whispering Island. He became the kingdom's greatest navigator, always seeking new horizons, but always remembering the quiet magic of that first brave discovery. And sometimes, on very still nights, he'd swear he could hear the distant, sweet song of the sapphire birds carried on the ocean breeze, a reminder that the greatest adventures begin with a single, brave step into the unknown.